Uh, Now we are going to discuss about the assessment of reflective process. Uh, already teaching learning is a two-way process of communication. Without the teacher, the student cannot learn, and without the learner, with the teacher cannot teach. So the teaching learning process is a two-way communication, two-way process of communication. We have already discussed. So in this process, the assessment is also will be the same. The teacher assessment, the teaching assessment could be done, and the learning assessment could be done. So the teaching learning is a two-way process of communication. Similarly, the student assessment can be done, and the same way the teacher's assessment can be also checked using the reflecting process. So vice versa, we can say both are the two-way process of communication. So assessment is also the same thing. Teaching learning is the way of process of communication, and assessment is also the same process of communication. So assessment can be done only with the interaction of the teacher and students only. Without interaction between the teacher and student, the assessment cannot take place. So assessment is also, say, it is a way process of two-way process of communication, we can say. Why in this process, the teacher may also check his teaching ability or teaching performance, and by asking some questions to the teachers or giving some interactive sentences, some questionnaires, etc. The teacher can also assess the uh, teaching proficiency, teaching abilities of the student teacher. So assessment is both reflecting process, we have discussed it. So without the interaction between the students and teacher, we cannot assess the performance of student as well as the teacher. So assessment is the both reflecting process, we can say. So how we can assess in the student performance and the teacher's performance, we will discuss in one by one. Assessment of reflecting process, we can say. During the teaching learning process, generally the teacher observes and identifies the misconceptions of the content what the student want to learn. So every student will have some knowledge about the any content which he learned in the previous classes. He may have some misconceptions, misunderstandings about the concept. So the teacher has to observe during the lesson plan, during the teaching learning process. That means during his teaching learning activities, he has to observe and identify the misunderstanding, misconceptions of the concept what the student is learning newly in the present class. That is most important for assessment of the student performance. So then after, if he identifies or observes the misconceptions about the concept of the learning concept, the teacher has to interact with the students. Then only we can observe and identify the misconceptions about the students. Why? Because the teacher has to observe that the math is a subject which is overlapped with the concept over the concept. So if a misconception is with the students, they cannot get the concept properly. I cannot understand the concept properly. So he has to remove the misconceptions over the concept immediately in the classrooms. So the teacher has to remove the misconception at the early stage. Then only the student can learn the things in a better way by removing the misconceptions. So the fundamental duty during the teaching learning process of the teacher is removing the misconceptions of any topic in the teaching learning situation, and during the teaching learning process. Then how to assess the reflective prompts. So prompts means here we the questionnaire or rating or whatever it may be. So teaching, it is a technique, we can say, in which the teacher provides some flexible questions to the students to reflect on their own learning. So after taking place of teaching learning process, during the teaching learning process, the teacher has to identify the misconceptions we are discussing. So after discussing or after completion of the topic, the teacher has to give some flexible questions to the students. Why? How the students, how much extent the student has got the concept, and how far the teacher has removed the misconceptions over the concept the students learn newly. So it is a way. So reflective prompts is a way or technique, we can say, to remove the misconceptions in the students over a content, we can say. So for that, the teacher has to provide some flexible questions to the students to reflect on the teaching learning process took place in the over any topic. So that each student during this time, at the time of present, at the time of providing this simple questions or some flexible questions, the every teacher has to give some questions to some students, definitely to every student. In that, the student definitely reflects on the questions and gives some flexible answer to his flexible questions. So with this, the student and the teacher can also understand sometimes whether how much the teacher can understand how far the teaching learning activities or teaching learning process as successful. So after completion of every lesson or every unit, the teacher has to give the reflective prompts to the students. This is a good technique or tool, we can say, to assess the students how far the teaching learning process has been successful. At the end of lesson plan, this will be take place, and it is a good technique, we can say. So how it will be, how, what are the simple, what are the flexible questions? Take some example. After completion of any lesson, the teacher may give some flexible questions we discuss. So what type of flexible questions the teacher has to provide to the students to respond on a specific topic taught by the teacher in the during the teaching learning process. Take some example. What did you enjoy about the lesson or unit? The teacher is that to student feels it is flexible to answer. The question is flexible to answer. Why? Because we are asking which area, which content you have enjoyed. We are asking. Definitely the teacher asks the question, and we expect the answer from the student without any inconvenience. Second question, what was difficult and what was easy in the lesson? Definitely the teacher may expect the answer from the student. Why? Because this is also a flexible questions to the students. What is good and what is not easy, what is easy. Definitely the student gives. So the third question is, can you explain the idea of the lesson, the central idea of the lesson, what the student has understood from the lesson or from the topic with the question. So it may be a simple question, we can also expect the answer from the student. The third question, what help you want from me? The fourth one, so is the student is in a position to seek any help from the teacher or not, we are asking here. So the students may also feel flexible to answer and reflect on the question, and it may they give the suitable answer and satisfactory answer to the teachers. This is called reflective prompts tool or technique, we can say. So this is the way we can give some flexible questions and to the students, and we can expect the answers, easy answers and expected answers from the students to enhance the performance levels and to understand and enhance the understanding levels of the students by assessing using the reflective prompts, we can say. This is for to know how far the teaching learning process has been successful. This is a technique. Then for a self assessment also, the students wants to self assess themselves. So we can also give some questionnaire to the students to assess themselves. That is called self assessment, we can say. How far the student has got them, they can also say assess themselves. The first question is, what I like did not, what I liked it. So they can also answer themselves during this assessment, what I liked and what I did not like about this test. So when we are conducting anything, what they liked it and what they did not like, they can say how can I improve my performance. They can also reflect themselves to assess their performance. Did I know the answer to all the questions? So after completing any test, after completing any case, or after administrating any test, if we give this questionnaire to the students, they can also self-assess and they can also uh, get an idea how far the students, how far he or she has understood and got reached the objective of the test. Next, what time limit less for me? So is it suitable, the time is given for the test is suitable, or still more time to attempt the question paper or not? I can assess, could I share my ideas clearly with the class during the difficulties or not? Could I demonstrate positive and responsibilities attitudes towards the learning? How will I do this work or written test or whatever it may be differently in next time? This type of questions if we give to the students after completion of or after administrating the test, if the student assess himself, that is called self assessment. From this he can also develop or enhance his self assessment skill and self learning abilities, we can say. This is about the self assessment by the students, we can say. This is one thing. So the teacher wants to, sometimes the teacher may also want to assess his teaching learning process, how the learning process has took in the classroom successfully or not. He want to judge means he want to assess means he can also give some questions to assess by him only. That is called self assessment by the teacher, we can say. What type of questions we have to ask ourselves to assess ourselves, the teaching, whether the teaching learning process has got successful or not. So what went well, which is a good thing in our teaching learning process, we have to see. And what misconceptions of the new concept and student had. So what are the misconceptions over the concept which was taught by the teacher? The teacher has to understand how can I improve on the content and pedagogy of the lesson. Is the presentation of the content is successful or not, or if you want any more improvement, how can we improve as with the teachers for the next time, that we have to assess ourselves. What would I change if I did the lesson again? If I want to teach the lesson then one more time, what I have to change in the teaching learning process, you are teaching learning material or whatever it may be. This is the way the teacher can also assess his performance of the teaching learning procedure. So the self assessment by the teacher and self assessment by the student is also most important for assessment in reflecting process. So this is the way we can assess the mm, reflecting process, we can say. The next topic is we are discussing about the special need children. We special need children means the students who needs special support, special support or extra care or whatever it may be in the classroom. So they compared to the general students, they may not perform well or may not respond immediately compared to the average general students in the classroom. The students who may have some difficulties, mental or physical, all these things, whoever have the sensory problems, mental problems, health problems, physical problems, all comes under the special needs of category. So special needs children means those who suffers with physical problems, those who suffer with mental problems, those who suffer with sensory problems, and all these things comes under this disability. So the students who have the intelligent disabilities, physical disabilities, sensory disabilities comes under this category special needs children or special needs students, we can say. So SCN, the special educational needs, we are saying here. The SCN means the abbreviation for SCN, special educational needs. The students who expect the support, extra support or additional support from the teachers or from peers or parents or from organizations to learn the things in a better manner. The type of children are called here special educational need children. For that, the NCERT has also suggested a new technique, that is individual education program. That is the for this type of children, the general instruction or general teaching learning process is not so useful for them. We have to design the individual educational program which supplements the needs of the students, it has suggested. So based on the recommendations and suggestions, the NCERT, all the uh, schools of states of the school states and central government, state government schools are providing some basic facilities and other facilities to supplement the needs of the special need children. So what this SCN, special education need children, comprising means physical, sensory, intellectual disabilities, who suffers from these three type of categories comes under the special needs of children. So for that, we have to ask the children to assess themselves, because the general teacher may not assess the problem of the students, so that should be assessed by some special teachers who are expert in special education. So the compared to the general teacher, the special education teacher in particular subject or specific subject can assess the student performance well. So first we have to ask the students to assess themselves. Then after, the second evaluation should be done by the peers or specific experts in particular subject. So assessment of special needs children is com- different compared to the general students. So how to assess the student performance generally? So first we should go for the right direction, what the problem is the student is having. Then after, a map of a plan, so what problem he has, how to reduce his problem or remove his problem or eradicate his problem, whatever it may be. Then after, road to healing, to reduce that one, what to do. These three steps should be followed. So for diagnosis problem and to eradicate his problem, we have to diagnose these three things and we have to plan like this. Then after, you move to first one by one, what are the pillars of this assessment of special needs children. If you look at, automatically you can understand these are the pillars of assessment. We can say there's interviews, observation, informal assessments, and norm reference tests, we can say. So what are these interviews, how the interviews help for assessment, the observation, informal assessment, norm reference test, we will discuss one by one. So the next one is how the interviews are useful to assess the children. So environments, interview environment, medical and biological factors, timeline of the disability, interventions and results. So we have to see in the interview, we have to check the environmental, medical and biological factors of the special needs children, and then after, how far the student is suffering with the disability, the timeline we have to check, observe, and during the interview, and we have to discuss in the interview interventions and results, what till the day among the students we were having the special needs. So with these interviews we can assess all these things. Then after, go to the observation. Here observation also, what we are saying here, it has some, what we have to observe, identify the alternative factors, external factors for this is disability. So what are the external factors are made to the child for having the special needs. So frequency, duration, how many students are there, how many problems are there, how many disability problems are there, how much duration this it needs, a number of disabled behavior, and analysis the process of remedies, and all these things we have to observe in this observation stage. Then after we are saying informal assessments, like they are not to relate to standard samples of written and oral languages, personal items of work. So in informal way we have to assess, that means during the interview or observation, and when the students are writing the written test, when they are speaking oral language, oral communication skills, written communication skills, personal problems, all these things we have to observe during this his work. This is called informal assessments. So then after, how to the following procedure should be followed. The first one is identify the differential diagnosis of the problem. So we have to see the directions what we are following. We have to observe what are the differential diagnosis of the problem. Next, the second object is understand the degree of the severity, how far the student is suffering, how seriously the student is injured, and how he is worrying about getting problem with the problem. For example, while or that is mild, small or moderate or severe or non-significant problem, we have to categorize, we have to observe. So these things in the second stage. The third objective is to create a baseline to evaluate the progress after receiving the treatment. So after giving the treatment, how to give the treatment, after giving the treatment, what to do. These things we have to frame and we have to uh, design. Then after, the fourth objective for the we have to recommend to a special is to offer specific recommendations. We are not perfect as with the specialist, so we have to recommend that problem, and after observation, the baselines what we observed, we have to explain to the some experts, and we have to get the feedback and have to give key actions and whatever suggested by the experts, and we have to continue that process to get well. Then after, there will be so many types of assessments, that is cognitive assessment, academic achievement assessment, behavioral assessment, so many are there. So we cannot assess these all types of assessments as we the teachers, so that should be done by some experts in the field of that particular uh, disability. Suppose if it is physical problem, that is should be assessed by some expert in the field. So these type of assessments would be there, but we are not perfect in that one as with the general teachers. So we have to recommend to some specialist, and that should be assessed by that type of particular specialist only. So uh, what we have to observe generally as with the teachers. So the orientation we have to give, how far how, which type of curricular areas, like braille lipi for the blind children, we will listen generally braille lipi will be there. Some students will write 56 as 65, 9 as 6, when we are teaching 71 as 71, 17, that is called dyslexia, dyscalculia. There will be so many problems for the in mathematics. So braille recording and braille writing areas we have to observe. We have to give some orientation to the students, and how far that they are following, what are the mobility skills of the students, and daily living activities are how the living activities are there among the students, how the social skills are there among the students, pre-vocational skills. We have to check all these things should be assessed by the teacher. So there will be so many problems among the students who are expecting the special cooperation from the teachers. So we have to observe all these things among the students who suffers a lot due to these special needs. So the curricular areas, like all these things we have to check. So braille lipi, braille writing, braille recording, reading, dyslexia, dyscalculia for forgetting, for mistakes, dyscalculia. If we speak in mathematics, dyscalculia. If we speak in English language or languages, dyslexia. So there are so many types of disabled problems are there. We cannot assess all these things, but we can observe all these things, and we can suggest the expert, and from that feedback by the specialists, we can uh, remedies to the students. So how we can assess the problems of the students who are in special needs? So from the students anecdotes means which were written by the previous class teachers and previous subject teachers of the classes, and class teachers and some specially science teacher, he observes so many things. So we should get the anecdotes or class teacher records and everything. From that we have to observe all these things. Some specialist reports also we have to observe. If he is facing is any problem, we have to see the specialist report. Then parental reports also we have to get. We should get the interact with the parents and how far the student is getting this problem, how far student is facing this problem, how the extent you who did help. All these things we have to observe, and we have to observe the comments of the friends. That means in the peer groups also we have to, so we have to take the peers comments also in observation and suggesting the treatment or to assess the students performance. These all the areas we have to observe, we can say. So how can we assess the, what will be the assessment process for special needs children? Some techniques we have to follow, that is suggest to assessment process we are teaching here. What are the measures to be taken to improve the performance of the special needs children, and what way we have to in what way or what techniques or what tools we have to provide to assess the student performance who are with special needs. The first one is more objective items we have to give in the question paper. Generally, compared to the other students, if we design the question paper, we have to design the question paper especially to this type of children. That means, if it is possible, we should give more objective type questions in the question paper. Then the student may give the attempt, so and they can give the brief answers in a brief way. Frequent short quizzes, so we should not ask long answers in the question paper. For in that, to complement that one, we should conduct some frequent short quizzes to this type of students. They can also speak easily in short or few words, in few sentences. Then automatically it is helpful. And provision of extra time. If you want to conduct the general exam to all the students including these special need children, we should give some more time compared to the general students in the examination. Suppose if you are giving 2.5 time to the general students, we should give some more time, that is half an hour extra, 30 minutes extra, depends upon the difficulty level of the students. Then after special aids, the students may not hear sometimes. For that, we have to give some equipment to the students to hear properly. They may cannot write properly. For that, we have to give, they may they may not write. For that type of student, we have to provide some scribe to write the examination with his knowledge only. So his scribe means the student is explaining, then the scribe will write the answer sheet. So this is the way we have to provide. uh, Simplified instructions we have to give, so we should not give lengthy instructions to the students, they cannot be attentive. So we should give simplified instructions to this type of students. And we have to give should not give more questions to the students in the question paper. We should reduce the questions in the question paper, then automatically we can expect the answers for the students. They may not concentrate, so we should not give more questions. So for that, we have to reduce the number of questions in the question paper. Then after, alternative measures to be taken, like tape recorder recording and other things to record the answer. They cannot repeat the answer. So for that, we cannot evaluate or assess the student performance, why? Because they are facing special disabilities. So for that, even though we want to evaluate, we cannot evaluate properly, and we cannot assess the performance of the student as with the general teacher. So we have to invite the special experts in the special education to evaluate or assess the student performance perfectly. So with this, these are some alternatives to supplement the needs of the children to in the process of assessment, we can say. So we cannot assess the student performance as a general student, so we have to invite some special expert in the field of that disability to assess the performance of the student. This is the way we have completed our syllabus. Thank you for patient listening for all the semester sem 2 we have completed with this lesson, with this topic. Hope you understood well this online classes, and I too satisfied myself. There is no alternative to complete the syllabus to you and me also. Hope with the blessings of the God and with your cooperation and your patient listening and your commitment and your discipline and your sincerity, whatever be there are no words to define your sincerity and commitment towards your patient listening and writing the notes and submitting the notes regularly by night. Hope you have understood well, and with your cooperation and with your support only I completed my syllabus. Thank you for all, and thank you for your patient listening and commitment. Hope you understood well, and you will write well the examination whatever whenever they conduct. Have a nice day and best of luck.